Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward for Lettermen Row, back with my man Zach Boren, breaking down Ohio State defense, the former Buckeyes superstar over here. It's some BuckIQ, and looking at these rushmen, Zach, it's been a while since we've done one of these up front to break it down. And I think that this guy has been a little bit overlooked. I mean, it's taken him some time in his career to really take that next step and be the five-star guy. But Jonathon Cooper, you look at a maybe heart and soul kind of leader for this team. I think he might be it.
Man, this is a guy who, people almost wrote off, right? He was a very highly touted kid right out here out of Columbus, Ohio, got to Ohio State and was kind of forgotten about, right? When you have Nick Bosa, when you have Chase Young coming in, when you have a lot of other high-profile recruits who saw the field before and people just forget about him. But this is a guy that you've been around the team, I've been around the team. It's a guy that a lot of people have respect for. He's a very good leader. That those young defensive linemen have played really well because this guy's kind of taken them underneath his wing. But this is also another guy, when he does all that, it's time for a breakout year, right? We saw some glimpses last year. He saw the field more than he ever has before in a season. And this is a guy who this year really is going to be relied on, right? This is a guy that could be seeing some time in that Nick Bosa role, across from Chase Young. And to be honest, Larry Johnson, I know, is expecting a lot out of this guy.
I think of a guy, the one that comes to mind is they're not exactly the same physically, but Jalen Holmes he's sort of in that mold. Like he was out there on the field. You knew he was part of that group of four. Then that final year, it was like, okay, here you go. Now he's getting ready for his second year with the Minnesota Vikings.
I couldn't agree with you more. I was going to go back to my time and almost say Thaddeus Gibson, right? Thaddeus Gibson was a guy that was kind of a special team during his junior and senior years when they kind of said, hey, we need something out of you. And his senior year was a great player. But you're right. Jalen Holmes, it's exactly that. He has one very solid year his senior year, ends up becoming a fourth-round draft pick of the Minnesota Vikings. And I think Jalen Holmes could be that type of player, right? This is a kid who's long, athletic. He looks the part. And so if he puts it all together on the field and has a breakout type season, quote unquote, and puts up to some numbers, he's some guy who's going to test really well and could be a high draft pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, what makes Jonathon Cooper that guy? We saw some glimpses of it last season. Zach's going to break it down for us right now, so let's roll the tape. All right, Zach, if you're ever going to make a play at Ohio State, you pretty much want to do it in this game, right? So this was a key situation, that tight score and 2-point play. It actually doesn't go in the box score, but it counts pretty big for the scoreboard.
This was a huge play, right? If Michigan gets this, it's a tie ball game, right? This was a huge part in this game. Jonathon Cooper here, we know the physical tools he has. He's got the speed, got the length. Right here, he puts it all together, right? Splits a double team right here. The tight end needs the chip stay on. Obviously, he's able to split this, is good with his hands, swims them, and is able to get right here and get in the quarterback's face. And this, like you said, was a massive play in the big game.
I think, too, this is a mobile quarterback. Patterson could make some plays with his feet. And Cooper, this is where that athleticism was really flying. Not just to break through that double team, but the way he closed on Patterson's impressive to me.
Yeah, you can see the speed. We all know how quick and athletic Shea Patterson is. For him to get there, I mean, he's running with a guy like Malik Harrison, right? They're both making up distance. We all know how quick Malik Harrison is. And this is a guy who's big, long. He's got a lot more weight than Malik Harrison does. And so when you have this speed coming off the edge, a play like this, he's just able to shut down right away.
It avoids the horse collar there, too, which I don't know if you have to worry about that.
I hate that rule.
So a big play there for Jonathon Cooper in the game. He'd been doing it earlier in the year. You look at his numbers for the season, they don't blow you away, but this is an example, too. You talked about Draymond Jones replacing him. This is Jonathon Cooper coming up big there on the edge.
Yeah, it is. And this is the one thing I think this is early on in the season, and later in the season we saw a little bit different when he started to come on. His whole career so far since he's been at Ohio State, the whole reason why he hasn't played is because he's indecisive at the very beginning, right? As a defensive lineman, especially defensive end, you have to be able to go. We see this when we see the other angle of the play. You're going to see someone coming out here to fill the bubble, so there's no reason for him to stutter step, go. And we saw that later in the year, what he's able to do. But still, right here, see, he stutters and is still able. This was a really good, quick quarterback, right? He's still able to come here and make the play. We see this. This is man coverage all on the outside. Jonathon Cooper, he needs to go, but still right here you can see how he recovers, right? He takes 2 or 3 choppy steps, almost comes to a complete stop, and is still able to close on this quick mobile quarterback.
The way these plays work, Zach, I mean, they're making Jonathon Cooper make a decision, right? And if he doesn't, that's a problem.
No doubt. You have to go full speed, right? And like I said, this is a problem that he had early on in his career and at the beginning of last season, but he started to go full speed right when the snap played. He needs to close on this right away. But like we talked about, he's long, right? He's athletic. The quarterback can't make the throw because he's right there and he knows with the long arms the ball's going to get batted down.
Yeah, another mobile quarterback there in Penn State, another big game for Ohio State where that defensive line had to deliver.
Yep.
And this isn't chasing down that quarterback, but this is extending a play,
Yep.
being aggressive, physical. What do you see?
This is what I love. He comes off the ball, fires hard, and look at that length, right? This is a guy who, maybe he's got the speed and athleticism. We haven't really seen him at the point of attack, but right here we're kind of seeing all three things right now, right? This is a guy, extension. See that extension, able to get the guy's hands off of him and make this play? He's doing exactly what he needs to be. Good coming off the ball, strike, extend, shed, make the play. That is a perfect play. And Grant, like we said, big play, big game. It seems like he shows up in those big games.
Yes, you're right. More tackles for loss, more sacks surely coming for Jonathon Cooper. Ohio State, big expectations for him heading into his final year. Zach Boren is always breaking it down for us right here at Lettermen Row. For BuckIQ, thanks to Zach, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.